स्क्रीन पे क्या दिख रहा है? बट मेरा शेयर नहीं हो रहा सर अभी। मैंने जो खोल के रखा है शेयर ही नहीं हो रहा है।
आज नेट डिस्टर्ब है सुबह से।
किसको दे दिया? A very good afternoon to everybody present. LNCT University is amongst one of the top universities of Central India. Hello.
नहीं आई।
Hello.
हाँ अब आई।
Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Rachit Saxena from LNCT University School of Architecture. Our university is amongst one of the top universities of Central India and has always stood in the forefront in meeting the ever-growing challenges. To meet the growing demand of higher education in India and abroad, LNCT University offers various programs from diploma, bachelor's, master's, and even doctorate level programs. One of such programs is in School of Architecture, under which we have organized various workshops, seminars, webinars, hands-on activities, and today we bring you an expert lecture from a multi-award holder, architect Surinder Bahga, on climate responsive architecture. I would like Dr. Sheetal Sharma to brief you all about LNCT University first. Sheetal ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Rachit. On behalf of School of Architecture, LNCT University Bhopal, I welcome you all. Hello. ठीक है. Sorry for the technical issues. So in today's lecture, we are meeting architect Surinder Bahga sir, who will tell you about the climate responsive architecture. And LNCT University always tries to give the best of the best education, not only in teaching but also in the professional and the practical trainings. A brief introduction about LNCT University. So kindly just go through the glimpses of the work done in the LNCT University, especially in a School of Architecture. It has started only 2 years before. LNCT University was started in 1993 with the name of LNCT College. Then we started the Choksi Engineering College in 2001. Then Lakshmi Narayan College was started in 2002. I hope I am audible now. Sorry for the technical issues. There are parallelly 3 seminars going on in my university, and we are all associated in the same room, so some technical issues are coming. So we started with the LNCT College in 1993, then Choksi Engineering College 2001, LNCT College Indore 2004, LNCT College of Technology and Science in 2006. We started a very grand hospital with 500 bedded facility called as the JK Hospital and Medical Research Center in 2008. Following with LN Medical College was established with a research center in 2009, then LN Nursing School, and many more courses started in 2011. And in 2015, finally the LNCT was born. School of Architecture is one of the constituent parts of this LNCT University since 2018. We have our patrons with us, Dr. Jainaran Choksi sir, he is Chancellor LNCT University. Dr. Anupam Choksi sir, he is Secretary LNCT Group and LNCT University. Dr. Narendra Kumar Thapak sir, he is Vice Chancellor and has already joined this webinar to give us the blessings. So welcome Thapak sir. We have a very lush green campus in which we run almost 64 classes of plus courses, more than 5,000 students, more than 20 PG and PhD courses, more than 10 international courses are already running. We have more than 10 plus national and international awards in our panel. More than 300 publications and research are still going on. This is the last 3 years activities. The School of Architecture was born on 9th July 2018, and we started our session on 15th August 2018. We are the faculty members, myself, Dr. Sheetal Sharma, Principal, Dr. Ankita Srivastav, Associate Professor, Shashi Saxena Ma'am, Associate Professor, Anant Sharma Sir, Specialist in Structure, again Associate Professor, Rachit is already joined us as a co-host, he is Assistant Professor, Aradhana Madam, Neeraj Mekar Sir, Piyush Joshi Sir, and Sir. All are the senior teachers who are having more than 30 years of experience. So we are a one family with a newborn college and making the students learn more about architecture. What we do in LNCT, just a very fast glimpse, what LNCT does for the students and what the students do in LNCT. So firstly, we signed the MOUs with the international universities like Kyrgyz University, we have signed the MOU. Then we have the MOUs with the MOU with the Kyrgyzstan, MOU with the Sunderland, London. We have MOUs with Nawa University, Taiwan. We have MOU with the University of Malaysia, Pahang. And this way, the international borders are being now taken into the LNC University for the students exchange program, etc. Then we have many awards with us that the most trusted education brand in Madhya Pradesh, the award, then Best Company University Award by CEGR. Then we have the award for the best university in Madhya Pradesh, and many such awards are there. Now, what LNCT is known is for the excellent education with the teachers from very well institutes, study tours, expert lectures, which are missing in many other institutes, national international conferences. We have our own incubation center, research, sports, and we have various things with us, associated with us. As you can see, LNCT is ranked as the first in Madhya Pradesh and 17th in India. Allen Medical College is the top emerging college, ranked as first. We have many other awards with us. So we are going on in a journey towards successing our students in various fields. And what we do for the students is we have continuous panel discussions going on. We have seminars, we have study tours. In these 2 months, 2 years, we have already done around 8 to 10 study tours. Then we take various workshops along with the curricular activities and education for the students of architecture to learn different things. We go for national training programs and international training programs, offline, online, both modes. We have a very wide range of expert lectures done from NITs and SPAs and other teachers, now in online mode, but obviously it was in offline mode before and students enjoy it. We have the college competitions. I have started a new series called as the City NASA, which is a small group in which we play all the roles which are played in the national NASA by the students of architecture. Then workshops. Workshop is the very important part of School of Architecture. Until and unless you play with the clay and the cement, I don't think architecture will be taken into your blood. So workshops are very much necessary. Site visits, then hands-on training. My students have learned how to make the bricks. They are present in this webinar. They have learned how to do everything by putting themselves into cements and concretes and cardboards. This is the glimpse where they are making the bricks. Then they have been given many projects which are live projects which they have to execute by themselves, not only on the books. These are the models they prepare in the class, and basically on the Saturdays. You can see behind the scenes what the faculties and the students are doing, and then we get the final result which is shown in the center. Every college has these things. And this is a special pic taken by me during the class when everyone was tired and wanted to sleep. So this is a special pic which is dedicated to my students. When they do a hard work, I allow them to sleep also in the class. Then we have many international webinars being done from the lockdown period. Many renowned architects from Dubai, Germany, Belgium has joined us. We have taken the very famous Architects Act Proposed Amendment Talk series with all the eminent speakers. We have the Entrepreneurship Development Industry Interaction Cell, which works towards the betterment of the students, and the National Education Policy, which is being latest taken upon. This is my incubation center, which is having the latest facilities of all the research and everything. And thank you from School of Architecture to everyone who has joined us. Thank you from myself. Now I request my Vice Chancellor, sir, who is present with us, to just give us a token of blessing.
I welcome you all in the online virtual lecture series on the very recent topic, that is climate responsive architecture, organized by School of Architecture. On behalf of LNCT University Bhopal, I would like to welcome our Honorable Chancellor Sri Jain Choksi sir, Secretary of LNCT Group Dr. Anupam Choksi sir. I heartily welcome our today's speaker, Honorable Dr. Sri Surinder Bahga sir, all faculty members, Principal of School of Architecture, Dr. Sital Sharma. I also congratulate to the Principal of School of other schools of LNCT University, organizing committee members, all the dignitaries, participants, and dear students for organizing such a wonderful lecture series. I hope this discussion and conclusion of this lecture series will prove to be very useful for our student and architecture students. I wish a grand success of this lecture series. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, as you are very much aware and very much eager to hear, sir, I just request Rachit to give a brief introduction about Surinder, sir. Though he is present here, but the introduction always adds and feather in the cap. So, Rachit, kindly introduce Bahga, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Architect Surinder Bahga has... Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Architect Surinder Bahga has established an architectural organization called Sakar Foundation in Chandigarh in 1984. His works have been published in many journals and newspapers of repute, such as one of the journal was the Fifth Asian Congress of Architects held at Lahore in Pakistan. His works were exhibited at Archifest exhibition organized by Singapore Institute of Architects. Mr. Baga was given Sir M. Visvesvaraya Award in 1995 by HUDCO for energy efficient housing design. His designs are selected by Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources and TERI as one of their best 41 energy efficient buildings in India. He has got Michael Winters Award for Architectural Association from London. Police Memorial in Jammu was designed by Mr. Baga and it got an Outstanding Concrete Structure Award from the Indian Concrete Institute. He has also co-authored three books, namely Modern Architecture in India, Post-Independence Perspective, New Indian Homes, and Le Corbusier and Pierre Jeanneret, Footprints on the Sands of Indian Architecture. Bhaga sir has worked as the chairman of IIA, that is Indian Institute of Architects, Chandigarh, Punjab chapter. And currently he is a member of advisory committee of India's Home Minister on Union Territories. Recently, he has been appointed as head of Chandigarh sub-chapter of FSAI and chairman of GEM Chandigarh chapter. As a whole, what I want to say is we all are going to experience a personality with awards and proficiencies that are diverse in themselves. And this makes him nothing less than a unique personality. So without wasting any of the time, I would like architect Surinder Bahga to take over this session and enlighten all of us with his experience and knowledge. Welcome, sir.
Yes, please. Respected Choksi sir, the Chancellor sir, Anupam Choksi sir, the Secretary, and the Vice Chancellor, Mr. Thapak. I am grateful to the management, the whole management of LNCT University, and special thanks to Dr. Sheetal Sharma because she has taken a lot of pains to arrange this program. She is very hard-working principal, and I think she is an asset to the university. So today we are going to talk about climate responsive architecture, and this is a very important subject. Shall I start my presentation now? Yes.
Yes, sir, you may start.
Yeah.
By the time you start, you would like तो आपने वही बताना सर आवाज आ रही है
पहले से बस ये क्या yes okay shall I start ma'am hello okay I would like to mention that in all the religious scriptures of India, there is a lot of emphasis which is laid on protecting and saving the environment. And these are the lines from the holy Puranas. It highlights, this shloka highlights the importance of tree in our life. Likewise, these are the lines from this is a shlok from in the holy Guru Granth Sahib. It says that Almighty has given us earth to live and die on, but we have forgotten these blessings and have sought destruction. And
Excuse me, sir. Sorry for the interruption, but your screen is not visible to us.
sorry, नहीं चल रहा, क्या हो रहा है यार? स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रहा, पहली स्लाइड से
By the time
तो
these
screen हमको दिख रहा है.
issues are resolved, we would like to thank architect Puneet Singh Khurana for live streaming this event on YouTube via the channel of Archistudent.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Oh. पंखा बंद कर, दरवाजा भी बंद कर, तो पंखा भी बंद करो, सो जाओ. Yes, please. Okay. So I was talking that there is a lot of focus on saving the environment, saving the Mother Earth in all the holy scriptures of India. These are the lines from Puranas, which is laying lot of emphasis on saving the trees. Is it okay? स्क्रीन दिख रहा है मैम? पावर पॉइंट खोलना पड़ेगा.
Someone is
स्टॉप शेयर. मेरे से प्रॉब्लम. कैसे दिख रहा है? Yes. Yes. So these are the lines from the Holy Puran, which is laying lot of emphasis on saving the tree. Likewise, this is a shalok from Holy Guru Granth Sahib, and there's a lot of noise over here. नॉइज बंद कराओ ना यार.
बोल दिया.
कितनी बार बोलना पड़ेगा? Okay. So in this particular shalok, there is a emphasis that Almighty has given us earth to live and die on, but we have forgotten these blessings and have sought destruction. And similarly, in the Holy Quran, there is a ayat which is highlighting the importance of that Allah has sent down rain from the sky and given life thereby to the Mother Earth. And yes, basically it's highlighting that we humans are not listening to what the Allah is asking us to do. Similar sentiments are expressed and versified in the Holy Bible. And if I talk about what is sustainability, sustainability is taking less from the earth and giving more to people. आवाज नीचे से बहुत आ रही है, उनको 2 मिनट रिक्वेस्ट कर लो प्लीज. We all know that buildings consume 48% of the world's energy, and in different proportions, like industry is consuming 31%, transportation is consuming 12% of the energy, agriculture is consuming 5%. And if we look at the India's past, the historical past, so I want to show how wise our ancestors were. in this township of Mohenjo-daro in the year 2600 BC, they designed this township where proper care was taken to design sustainable buildings according to the topography, according to the climate, according to the wind direction, and it was so smartly designed that even these there was a proper drainage system was there. And if we go to Rajasthan, in the Havelis at Jaisalmer, which are built something around 1200 AD, you see this intricately woven facade of a Haveli. It is self-shading, it is protecting the windows, it is shading the windows from rain and sun and dust, everything. And likewise, in the golden period of architecture, which was the Mughal period, architecture has reached almost its peak in perfection. And this Taj Mahal, you see, it is one of the seventh wonder. How nicely it was landscaped, how nicely water was utilized. And in the down south, at Orsha, this is a Jahangir Mahal Palace in Orsha. There was a courtyard planning, there were thick walls, there were smaller windows. All these features were there in the ancient architecture of India. And in the 50s, when Corbusier came to India, the first thing on reaching India, he asked his team to study the climate of Punjab. He studied the wind direction, he studied the topography of the site, he studied the vegetation, and this is the open hand monument which revolves like a weathercock. It gives the wind direction. And there are numerous sketches prepared by the Corbusier's team which are published in a huge volume in foreign books. And while designing Chandigarh's capital complex, there you see this is a High Court building where Corbusier has experimented with double roof, and you see how nicely the glazing is shielded with a combination of horizontal and vertical louvers, and the building is oriented in a perfect orientation, which is the wind direction in Chandigarh. Chandigarh is the only city probably in India where we have 35% open spaces, green spaces, whereas in city like Kolkata it is something like 2%. And with such a rich historical past, now what, in the middle of 90s we started making buildings, designing buildings. You see, this is the above building on the left corner, top is a Mohali. It's the Urban Development Authority of Punjab, and the other one is another building in Gurugram. One is in the lower line is Mumbai and in Bangalore. There's no difference when today's architects are doing buildings in whether it's a Mumbai or it is Bangalore. No consideration for the climate at all. And now we are going to talk what we are supposed to do. We always talk about energy efficient buildings. So we all know buildings consume energy, in heating, cooling, lighting, and running all the appliances. And energy efficient building is one in which we can reduce the demand for electricity by using efficient appliances or designing the building in a proper manner. And in order to understand the whole concept, I would like to add that India is a huge subcontinent, and it is divided into 5 climatic regions. So each region has its own parameters to design the buildings. One is the top one, you can see the Jammu Kashmir area and parts of Himachal Pradesh. It comes under cold and cloudy region. And this Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana and all these areas which are in a lighter golden color, it's a composite region. Hot and dry region is Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat, etc. You can see this map. And warm and humid region is the coastal belt of India, which is shaded in a dark golden color. And moderate region is a small pocket somewhere near Pondicherry. These are the climatic regions of India. And when we design buildings in these regions, we have this is the first of all we are discussing the composite region, which is covering most part of India, including Madhya Pradesh. These are the design strategies, the design mantras to design buildings in this region. What are the strategies? We have to resist heat gain in summer and resist heat loss in winter. We have to promote heat loss in summer and in monsoons. How we can do it? The underlines are specifying it. We have to orient the buildings with longer axes in the east and western direction. Roof insulation and wall insulation is required. Thicker walls or cavity walls are needed. And to promote heat loss, we are supposed to design buildings having courtyards, or we can have nice arrangement of openings, and trees and water ponds also help. So these are some of the guidelines, and following these guidelines we happen to design this particular church in Chandigarh long back. And this church looks very simple, but it is one of the 41 energy efficient buildings selected by the Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources by the Government of India. And in this church you can see the photograph. The entire elevation, the vaulted roof is mainly having light colors to reflect incident sun rays. And cavity wall is introduced. You can see we introduced small windows. There is adequate light, there is adequate ventilation, but the windows are deeply recessed. And you can see the plan. This cavity wall is running all around. And this is the interior during the daytime. There is ample light inside. No artificial lighting is required. And now I am going to discuss another church building designed by us in Chandigarh. This is called Church of God. This is a building in which this picture is taken from the western side. Western side is the most dangerous side climatically because it gives lot of heat which goes into the building's interiors. So we have turned its facade in such a manner from the front side that there is no window on the front side. There are small slit openings, or the windows are placed in such a manner that they are not visible at all. So hence thereby the building remains comparatively much cooler. This is the plan form. And in addition to that, we designed a building which is called Bal Bhavan in Mohali, which is a satellite town of Chandigarh. In this building, you see the front side is the western side. There was a requirement of a huge number of, large number of toilets. I clubbed all the toilets and put all the toilets on the western side. Why? Because I thought that toilet will be utilized for only 15 minutes or so. So let the western sun heat the toilet portion and let the dormitories remain cooler, and the other classrooms and training rooms remains cooler. And we retained all the existing trees in the site, and you can see each window is well protected with a balcony. And after this we did a school which is owned by the current Chief Minister's family. It is called Yadvindra Public School in Mohali. This is the school. A competition was held and our team was selected just because the guideline of the competition was that only that architect will be selected who will not cut the trees. You can see the trees around this project. we designed a compact building and fitted it at the site so that no tree is allowed to be cut. And in addition to that, we have shielded our windows, and the architectural vocabulary of this school is borrowed from the existing campus, which is designed by one of the noted architect of India, that was J.K. Chaudhary. Many people may not be knowing, J.K. Chaudhary designed IIT Delhi. He was one of the very famous architects in those times. So he designed this school, so we were doing extension of this. We followed the same architectural vocabulary, and no tree was cut, and hence this project was given to us. And this is the plan of this school. You can see we have kept 7-meter wide corridor in the middle, and 7-meter wide corridor is having cutouts on either side, and these cutouts are shielding the classrooms from the noise in the corridor, plus it facilitates light and ventilation. And you see this cross section, you see how the wind moves, and there's a skylight at the top of this corridor, and there's a bridge sort of a corridor moving inside, and it is further connected to each classroom through bridges. So there's no noise, there's ample ventilation, and there's ample light in the interiors. This is how we shielded our windows, deep shaded windows with a combination of horizontal and vertical louvers. And in addition to that, we designed a school at Chandigarh. This is a Christian school called Baptist School. In this school, we insisted the Chandigarh administration, because it's a modern school, we insisted to the Chandigarh architecture department that we want to have courtyard planning in this project. And the concerned officer was saying that courtyard is not required in these times, and why don't you go for air conditioning, because we are supposed to take conceptual approval from Chandigarh administration to make any building in Chandigarh. Anyway, we prevailed upon him, and this is a school where you can see again the windows are properly protected, and you can see the plan. There are two larger courtyards, squarish shape, and two smaller courtyards. This whole building is woven around courtyards, and smaller courtyards are covered with the polycarbonate sheet, and the larger courtyards are kept open. As a result, the building remains very cool, ventilated, and no air conditioning is needed. And this is one of our award-winning project which we got from HUDCO for designing a housing project at Jalandhar, and the jury was headed by very famous Indian architect Anant Raje, late Anant Raje, and we got first prize in India. And this is the housing block we have given to the HUDCO. You can see in this housing block there are earth berms at the bottom. You can see planters in front of windows. You can also see vertical openings in the parapet. And in addition to that, the tallest tower is a staircase which is so strategically placed, which can suck the hot air from the adjoining rooms and can release it at the top. And this is the site plan, again having courtyard planning. And the thick roof was proposed on this housing, like the one in Doshi's Sangat was used. The right picture is when Sangat was under construction. This is how the ventilation was promoted in the cross section in the housing block. And after this, we have one convention center project of the Agriculture Ministry in Delhi, and the brief of this project was that we are supposed to design a very energy efficient building. And you can notice this roof of this auditorium. The roof itself is tilted to the southwestern side, and the entire roof is made of solar panels, and each tree existing in the site was preserved, and rainwater harvesting was introduced, and pervious concrete perforated footpaths are created there, so that we do not damage the environment in any ways. And as a result of all these parameters, and we were given the first prize in this competition. And after this, we got an opportunity to design hostels for the postgraduate students of National Institute of Technology at Kurukshetra. In this project, you see there is a electricity shortage everywhere, light often goes, and we opted for similar parameters. It is a project where we introduced courtyards. It is a project where we introduced balconies to each room, and each window is thoroughly protected with properly protected with horizontal or vertical projections, as the case may be. And you can see this whole 30-acre complex. We designed 12 hostel blocks and 3 dining halls. It's a huge project costing nearly 30 crores. And as a result of our efforts, the students living there are very happy, thermally feeling very comfortable. And then I designed a small nursing home. It's a small, it is called Manodisha Hospital at Barnala. And this is the hospital. You can see how we protected the windows. You can see even on the sides, from the bottom, and because we get lot of temperature goes as high as 47 degrees centigrade in Punjab in summers, and a small cutout in the middle, and proper landscaping, and you see these kind of features are introduced, so that a hospital can be utilized very comfortably by the doctors, nurses and patients. And this is a very small library which is built in a very remote village in Punjab. This is the library. You won't believe the total cost of this library was only 12 lakhs. And you can see a cooling system placed on the roof terrace. The cooled air is brought down in the interiors through the ducts, and these ducts are built in civil work only, and there was no extra expenditure. And you see the windows on the front elevation, they are kept at a height after the height of the book rack, because the book rack itself acts as a insulation material. And this facade is facing north and south, and on the eastern and the western side, which is the most dangerous sides, we have provided cavity walls. Now you can see this plan. You can see these square ducts in the plan, 4 ducts. You can see this staircase and this toilet block on the eastern and the western side, and north and south side is we are having windows, and these windows are kept at certain height, so that book racks are, you can see in this plan, book racks are placed alongside the walls. And with this we finish the composite climate category, and next category is hot and dry. In hot and dry category, which is mainly the Rajasthan part, we are supposed to resist heat gain. These are the guidelines for designing buildings in a hot and dry region. We have to resist heat gain, and we have to promote heat loss. And for doing all this, for resisting heat gain, what we are supposed to do, we have to follow proper orientation, we have to insulate the building, we have to provide cavity walls, thicker walls, all those measures we are supposed to take. And to promote heat loss, we need lot of ventilation at night time in desert areas. And we got an opportunity to design a big housing township for Indian military, that is married accommodation project for Indian military, and we made 900 houses in this township. And I gave 16 presentations to the Army General to convince them that we have to follow north and south orientation in desert. So because the main road was just on the opposite side, the army was insisting that we should have housing which is facing the main road so that it is visible from the front road. But I have to go to Delhi 16 times to convince them that, sir, you are wrong. People will not be able to live there if we design the buildings like this. Ultimately, we prevailed and they agreed. And this is the housing where 99% of the houses are rightly oriented on the northern and facing north and south, which is considered to be the best orientation in a desert. And you see all the windows are properly protected, deeply protected, and we have used light colors in this housing, and there are hardly any trees at the site. Whatever little trees we got there, and we preserved them. We opted that we will prepare the master plan in such a way so that no tree is allowed to be cut. And after this, we got a chance to design certain buildings in a warm and humid zone of India, which is a coastal belt of India. And we designed some youth hostels for the Ministry of Human Resources. We did some projects in West Bengal, some in Odisha, some in Assam, and I'm just touching 4 of them. And in a warm and humid region, what is the main design feature? What is the main design guidelines? We are basically supposed to increase lot of ventilation in the rooms. Very simple. In a very simplest way, I would explain that promote lot of ventilation in the interiors. And this is the Bardwan Youth Hostel in West Bengal. You see, site was very tight. If you can read the number 4 in the plan, number 4 is a dormitory. You look at the shape of the dormitory, and this dormitory is getting windows from 6 sides. There are 6 openings in one dormitory. You open all of them, and all people living inside will feel comfortable, because it is very humid and you need lot of ventilation. And because you get lot of rainfall there, and the pipes normally remain choked, and in government buildings there is no mechanism to clean them. So we opted to have rainwater spouts. Likewise, you can see in this how we have protected the balconies. When we have lot of rainfall, buildings normally get blackened. So we given the even color of the building is chosen so that it will never get easily blackened. And this is a Joshipur. It's a place in Odisha where we happen to design a youth hostel. You can see this is the plan form. We have opted for a octagonal module, which becomes a dormitory at the first floor, which becomes a dining hall at the ground floor, the same module becomes a courtyard. And this is the end product. Again, you can see white color is used, small windows are used, water spouts are used instead of pipes, and you see how this building is designed like a beehive. And after this, we are going to touch the moderate climate. Moderate climate is one where the climate is not very harsh in comparison to other zones, and architects can take little more liberty to design the buildings there. So I never got any chance to design any building in this particular region. So I borrowed two examples from other architects' work. A Bombay-based architect, Rumi Shroff, he is a very dear friend of us. He designed corporate office of this Bajaj Autos. This is the corporate office of Bajaj Autos in Pune. You see the building? It's a beautiful building to my mind. He has provided slit openings and light white color, and you can see earth berms. It's a very nice building climatically according to my way of thinking. And you see how natural light is brought in the atrium area and in the corridors, avoiding lot of wastage of electricity thereby. And after this, the last region is cold and cloudy region. You know, cold and cloudy region is where we have to follow the reverse guidelines. We have to resist heat loss, which is totally opposite to what I was talking in the earlier zones. We have to promote heat gain and we have to resist heat loss. We have to design the buildings in such a manner. And this is a project designed by a very famous renowned architect, Ashok B. Lal. It's a small, very, very small cooperative bank at Shimla. You can see the picture. In the front facade, there is a glazing. This glazing is fixed after nearly 2 feet distance from the original wall, which is a masonry wall. So the air in between glazing and the original wall gets heated up with the sunshine, and the heated air goes up, and when it goes up, it is taken to the interiors through ducts. Now I will show you the section. You see the section. How this heated air goes up, and the heated air is taken inside the interiors, and thereby reducing lot of load on the heating of this particular bank. So it is a very sensitive design to my mind. Then we got a chance to design a composite regional center at Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir, which falls in cold and cloudy region. Here the challenge was different. When I reached there, I was told that lot of snow gets accumulated on the roofs. They say that neither it's practically possible to mechanically clean it, nor it is manually possible to clean it. So I contacted few people there. They advised me to follow a certain degree of roof angle. So I followed it blindly, and when snow falls, the snow automatically goes down. No manual cleaning is required, no mechanical cleaning is required. So that has made the project work very well. And the plan form is inspired from Hindu sacred symbol swastika, and in the middle, in the central point, we have a atrium. And these are the cross sections and perspective views of the same building. And before I close, I will just quickly touch some new technologies. When we have less area and we want a solar light, nowadays these solar trees are available in India, and this is called the solar tree. It's a very famous thing nowadays. And this is Professor Dixon, who has floated the concept. He's an American scientist. He has promoted the concept of vertical farming. And you see, this is the farming being done in a building itself. And a building in New York, building in Japan, designed by a New York firm in the year 2010. This building, on the external facades, you can see lot of creepers, the fruit-bearing creepers. You can see lot of plants inside the building. All the employees, thousands of employees which are working in this 9-story building, they eat all the fruit They eat all the, even the canteen, cafeteria in this building is utilizing the vegetables which are being grown here. This is a new concept floated by Professor Dixon. You see, this is the interior of this building. You see, they have grown, this particular crop in the basement of this building. So this is just a demonstrative project that even agriculture can be grown on the buildings. Now there's a talk of energy generating pavements. It is it is claimed that they use 100% recycled rubber, and with the movement of the feet, we can generate energy. And after this, there's a nanotechnology which is doing a lot of things. We have a nano glass. We have a concrete now which cannot get blackened, as we see normally in most of the old buildings of Corbusier. And this particular building is designed in Bahrain. It's called Bahrain World Trade Center. I have seen this building myself. You see two vertical towers about 800 feet tall. They are connected together by 3 bridges, and those 3 bridges are accommodating 3 wind turbines, and the diameter of one turbine is 95 feet. You can imagine how big it is. And the buildings are oriented in a particular angle to receive maximum wind, so that this wind turbine runs. And the architect has claimed that 15% of this building's energy is coming from these 3 wind turbines, and these bridges are being used to maintain these turbines. It's a noble idea, very beautiful concept, and these are the close-ups of the same with some other stats. This is a 50-story high building, and after this, nowadays even wind trees are available. Wind trees are available even in India. You see, it is a concept that wind turbines can generate electricity if there is an adequate speed of the wind. Desirable speed is there, only then you can generate electricity. But nowadays this wind tree concept is can generate electricity even if the speed of wind is as low as about 7 kilometers per hour. And this is a close-up of the wind tree. After this, some engineers and architects are experimenting with the idea of solar towers. When we design multi-story buildings, the only area left is on the top terrace, and the top terrace is already loaded with the water tanks and so many other gadgets and this lift room, etc. So they are toying with the idea whether we can have this sun tracking disc type of fixtures on the facade, which can be automatically operated with sensors. They move like sunflower on the facade and generate many times more electricity from the solar energy. So this is a new concept which is coming in, and these are the details of that. A few years back there was a concept that solar panels can be fixed on a straight roof at a particular angle, but now you see solar panels can be fitted on vaulted roofs, on angular roofs, in any shape. So this is a new developments in the technology of solar panels. After this, this is a building in Germany where the architect has used these projections of the windows which are made of solar panels. You see this black colors, horizontal lines in the elevation. Basically these are solar panels. How innovatively they used it. And in this building in Hong Kong, even the glazing is made of solar panels. This is a Hong Kong building where the whole wall is made of solar panels. This is a very good example from Finland, where the architect has used the railings of all the balconies. This particular railing is made of solar panels. And the conclusion of my whole talk is that India is divided into different climatic zones, and each zone has its own guidelines, and we should follow those guidelines, and we should design buildings to save environment, to save Mother Earth. And we should not copy the Western buildings, the glass-clad buildings. By designing glass-clad buildings, we are doing major harm to the Mother Earth. And that is my message. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bahga sir, for the presentation. The work you have done in the field of climate responsive architecture was really informative and it is quite a stupendous work. Before we end this session, I would like our participants to interact with you. Our participants are requested to post their messages either in the chat box, or they all may raise their hands and ask the question directly to Surinder sir. Sir, you may stop this screen share now.
Screen बंद करो.
Welcome Vijayagarh sir from here.
विजयगढ़ सर आए हैं?
हाँ सर.
उनको बोलना क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेंगे वो.
सर क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछना है. Sir, there are questions from the participants. I just want to put first question. It was asked from one of the participants, Abhinay. Can we know what is the angle of flow proposed at Composite Regional Center at Srinagar? This was the question asked by.
Can you? What was the question pertaining to the Srinagar project?
He had asked, can we know what is the angle of flow?
23 degree.
What is the angle of
23 degree.
The next question asked by Prakash. Prakash is, the next question asked by one of the participants is, what is the economical aspect or efficient aspect should be kept in mind while progressing towards innovation?
Cost remains exactly same in the projects which we have done. There's no extra cost at all. But even if we take extra measures, the cost will not go more than 5% higher.
Ask question. There is one question from our student. There is one question again. What is the role of courtyard in climate responsive architecture? Amitesh Pandey has asked.
Yeah, we all know there is a lot of literature available on courtyard planning. It's a traditional wisdom that in a climate like India, courtyard helps a lot. It protects us from noise, dust, and it facilitates the ventilation.
And then another question is being asked that why there are cavity walls in north, east, and southwest section of the building?
Because in certain areas, particularly in religious buildings, the building was located on the main road, and so that this traffic noise is not filtered into the interiors. So sometimes we opted for the cavity wall, on all the sides.
Question comes from our session and who is the faculty climatology. So the first question comes from I just want to ask one question. Out of the 5 climate, which one is the challenging most to design
if we need to design a building, which one is the challenging out of the 5 climates we are dealing?
I think composite climate is very challenging because in winter you get extreme winters and in summers you get extreme summers. So we have to be very, very careful in doing the buildings.
Sir, could you please let us know what are some of the common features which we can play in this type of climate? I mean, what features should we?
Okay. One is that we should preferably use right orientation. When I say right orientation, that we prefer windows on north side or south side, and we should avoid windows on the western side. I am explaining very simply to understand it. We should avoid windows on the western side, because on the western side we get lot of sun penetration, and it creates lot of heat inside.
One of your friends is asking to talk to you. Sanjay Goyal sir is there. Dinesh Surana sir is there.
Okay.
From behind.
Okay. Welcome, Sanjay sir. Welcome, Sanjay sir.
I am unmuting.
Then one more question is from the student, that if the building is restricted to ground floor and if we need to use jharokas, can they help in a composite climate?
If the building is single storied,
Yes, sir. Single story.
no.
Yes,
Jharoka is not applicable in a single story.
Later you can talk. So what challenges do you see when students ask you such questions?
The best method is to reduce the number of questions is that, ma'am, you start charging 5 rupees per question.
The students want your presentation and having the presentation. It is up to you whether you will be sharing it or not.
No, we will right away share it. No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question comes from, what is the research potential in climate responsive building?
The potential in
Climate responsive research potential.
research potential is lot of, because if I talk in particular, climatically we say Punjab falls in a composite climate, but if you go into the detail, each state has its further subclimates. We need to document it, we need to prepare recommendations for that, and there's a lot of work. These are the basic guidelines which we are following. There's a lot of research is required further in developing this.
And one more question. Are there any natural installations in the inner temperature of the building?
No, ma'am, I don't know.
Basically, they have been cooling factor.
I can't hear you, ma'am.
You can go for the passive cooling factor.
Yes.
Any more questions, sir? You can give a suggestion from your side for the students.
My suggestion is that we should not follow this false trend of making glass buildings, and our clients are misguided, our architects are misguided. Whether the building is coming up at Jodhpur, Jaipur, or in Pondicherry or in Bhopal, all the buildings look alike, and everything is sealed on the pretext that it will be going to be air conditioned. This we are leading to a wrong trend. So this is the main message.
Last question. According to you, why there is a lack of awareness about climate responsive architecture, the second and the third tier cities of India?
I think as such, we were even at a international level, there are climate agreements. What was the name of that agreement? Which was done in Paris, and America has withdrawn. And you see there's a lack of awareness, and there's no political will to save the environment. We are not talking about smaller cities or bigger cities. I think yesterday I was listening to one lecture by the famous poet Kumar Vishwas. He was saying only the educated people are responsible for spoiling the total environment, because the villages are self-sufficient, they are sustainable. In village, we have cattle, and the cattle dung is used in the fields. And in my village, from the last 200 years, there is not even a single dump yard. But in my Chandigarh city, it is a huge hillock in 45 acres. Because we are educated, we throw plastic into it, we throw stone into it, we throw everything into it.
Basically, we need to move towards the traditional methods more.
Yes.
Copy the fashion of the traditional.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Discussions are still going on, but since we are running out of time.
हाँ जी मैम, संजय सर आ गया जी.
हाँ जी.
संजय सर, चाय पी ली आपने? Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am impressed with your new hairstyle. Yes, ma'am.
So I will be providing that. Because some from Punjab are asking for an idea for the summer. So I would like to announce that I will be providing all the details and answers and the presentation after this program. Now we are talking about questions around here, and the enthusiasm shown by the and given me the time. Thank you, Bahga sir. Thank you, the participants who have learned and listened carefully. But be ready for the test on Monday, because I have kept the test on Monday. Bahga sir, I request you to send me some questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I thank my wife for the special thanks to Ms. Rana sir for the live telecast on the Archistudent Rana sir, the founder of this Archistudent, basically called as. Thank you very much, everyone, every student, our faculty, and my IT department who is trying, because there are 3 seminars and thank you for.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Every one of the participants is required to fill the feedback form before leaving the meeting.
मेरा फोन हेलो हाँ जी ना